Welcome. I've had a question from a viewer asking how you actually connect your app that you've made in Construct 3 with the App Store. Well, in this video I'll be showing you exactly how to do that. Now, the first thing you need to do is you need a membership in the Apple Developer Program. Now, I'm going to assume that most people who are looking at making apps for the App Store will already have this, but if you haven't, you need to go to this particular website, developer.apple.com/programs, and you'll want to click on the enroll button and basically pay for your membership. Now, price varies from country to country. In the US, I think it's $100 per year. In Australia, it's $150 per year. But you'll need that. It's a prerequisite to getting apps in the App Store, so if you don't have it, you need to get it. Okay, once you've done that, you can log into App Store Connect. This is basically the area where you will be able to set up apps that you're going to later on upload to the App Store. Now, the way you set up a new app, and I generally recommend people do this before actually starting on development of their app in Construct 3, you will go to My Apps, click on that. Okay, when that opens up properly, you will go to the plus symbol, click on that, go to New App. Now, what you're basically going to need to do firstly is you need to register a new bundle ID. So you'll be actually registering an app ID, and this particular app ID is the thing that will allow you to connect your Construct 3 app to this app that you're creating now on the App Store. And what you're creating now will just be a framework of metadata that your app that you create in Construct 3 will be able to link into. Okay, we'll go to the developer portal. Okay, now that's loaded, what you need to go to under identifiers, you need to go to app IDs. Okay, this is where you create your app IDs from. Click on this little plus up here. This allows you to register an app ID. Now, you want a name for your app, so decide on a name. In this case, I'm putting something fairly generic because it's just an example. So I'm going to call it My App. Of course, you wouldn't tend to call it My App normally, but okay, My App. Okay, the explicit app ID, which is what you want to fill out. Now, bundle ID. Now, they actually recommend using a reverse domain name style string, which is com.domainname.appname. Now, the reason they recommend doing that is because most developers have their own website, and the URL for your website is going to be unique. There is only one, www.brandonwhitten.com. So that's a unique thing, and if I base my my app ID off that, it's going to be unique as well in the App Store. So the bundle ID for this particular app will be com.brandonwhitten. And then I put my app name, which will be My App. Okay. Disregard this wildcard app ID, you don't need to fill that out. The app services here are things that you may want to include in your app. Now, generally speaking, for most people, and certainly for myself, I've only ever needed to use the default things that come ticked, and that is the Game Center and the in-app purchase. So basically, leave everything else alone unless you have a reason to actually tick them and put them in, and click on Continue. Okay, this is just confirming your app ID, click on Register, done, and we've got it. So now you can see that we have My App, which is com.brandonwhitten.myapp. Okay, so basically you've now created your app ID, and as I said before, the app ID is what will allow you to link your Construct 3 app with the app that you're now creating in the App Store. Okay, we'll shut that down. Go back here. Now, generally speaking, this takes a few minutes to do. before the actual the app ID will show up here. As you can see, scrolling down, there's no My App anywhere. So I might just cancel that for the time being and actually show you where you would actually put your app ID in your Construct 3 project. Okay, you can see here that we have a new project in Construct 3. It's just, everything is default on it. It's called New Project. I haven't customized it in any way. But if you look in Properties and you look down to ID here, you'll see com.company.appname. This is the app ID that you have just created. You basically put that app, you put the app ID that you've just created in here, and that is what will connect your Construct 3 app to the app hooks that you've created in the App Store. So we'll just type that in, com.brandonwhitten.my app. Okay. Now we might go back to the App Store Connect and try this now. I think we've probably given it enough time for the bundle ID, the app ID, to show up, and it has My App. So to create your new app, you need to fill out the rest of this here. It's an iOS app because we're making it for iPhones and iPads. The name of the app is just My App. The language that the app is written in, English, Australian. Your SKU, this is basically just a number, an identification number that is used by the App Store so it can identify your app. It can basically be any string of numbers you like, but each app that you create will need a different SKU, but basically any string of random numbers will be fine. You just won't be able to use it again for subsequent apps. User access, generally speaking, I just tick full access because there are very few people that have access to my apps other than me, and then we'll click on create. Okay, the app name you have entered is already being used. Okay. What we might actually do is create something a little less generic. Obviously somebody else has actually used My App as a name for their app. I don't really think there are any apps in the App Store called My App, but there could be, I guess. What we'll do, we'll just cancel that. We'll put something a little more specific. New app. Okay, go back to the developer portal. Once again, app IDs. Something new. We'll call it My Great App 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we'll turn that into an app ID. This won't be something somebody's used before. Okay, I'll use that as a basis. My Great App 1, 2, 3. Okay. Continue. Register. Done. If we look down, we see My Great App 1, 2, 3. Okay. That's been done. We'll shut this down. Cancel that just for the moment to give it time to actually update. Go into this. We'll actually change this. Okay, we'll just get rid of it all. com dot and it was My Great App 1, 2, 3. Brilliant. Okay, so we've put in our new app ID, which this time will work because nobody's going to have something that specific, I believe. Okay, App Store Connect. We'll create a new app. Just let it load. Okay, I'll just check the bundle ID. Hasn't loaded yet. We'll just give that a minute, and it should load just fine. As I said, it often takes a minute or two. Yep, there it is. Migrate app 123. Excellent. Okay, iOS. The name of it, My Great App 123. Primary language, just English Australian. Okay, SKU, just a random string of numbers. That's fine. Full access. Create. And this time it's worked. Okay. Now when you get to this point, you'll actually see you've got a lot of other things you can fill out about this particular app. Up the top here, you'll see the name of it, My Great App 123. You've got your app information screen. You'll basically type the name of it there. You can have a subtitle. You'll need to link to a privacy policy, which will store somewhere on your website. And I recommend for privacy policies that you just basically Google privacy policy, and you'll find a number of websites that will help you actually create an acceptable privacy policy. All apps have to have them now. Then you've got other things here. Okay, you have your categories, your primary category, whatever the app is going to be. Might be a game. You can stick subcategories in if need be. To make any other more detailed changes to this, you'll go to the prepare for submission. Generally speaking though, save, we'll just save everything for now. Generally speaking, you wouldn't do the prepare for submission until you've actually completed your app. But I'll just open it up just so you can see what it looks like, because you will need to fill all this out eventually, and it's quite a time-consuming process. And I will actually put up a detailed video examining this process in a lot of detail. But you basically have a variety of images, screenshots, and whatnot that you need to put up here. There's promotional images. You've got a little bit of promotional text that will go before your description of your app. You've got a place for keywords. You need to have a support URL, a marketing URL. Your build, when it's ready, will go in here. You've got app icons here and various other information that you need to fill out. Okay, look, we don't really need to look at this in any more detail at this point. Just know that this is all here, and it all needs to be filled out. And basically, once you've completed your app and you actually have your app imported into the App Store, it will take you probably a day or two to actually get everything together so that you're able to actually submit your app to the App Store for review. It's a time-consuming process that can be a bit of a pain, but once you've done it a couple of times, it does get easier. Okay, look, that's basically all I needed to show you for this video. Just to recap what we've done, we've created a new app ID in App Store Connect, and with that app ID, we've been able to add it to our Construct 3 app that we're working on, and that's what links the two together. Now later on, and I guess in a subsequent video, I'll be looking at the exporting process. Once you've actually completed your app, you'll then export the app for iOS. I don't use the Cordova option, I use the Xcode option, which I'm most familiar with, and I'll be definitely doing a video showing what to do with the exported Xcode files, because there are quite a few things you need to do to prepare it so that you're able to submit it to the App Store. Okay, but that's for another day. Look, thank you for watching. If I've taught you something, if you've gained something from this video, please subscribe and hit that notification button as well, so that you'll be notified the moment I release a new video. And on that note, happy coding, and I will see you later on.